All right, so today, Mr. Joe Murphy.
Buongiorno.
It's been a long time. We've been talking about doing podcasts for years. I think we've actually filmed 3 episodes and we haven't posted anything.
Yeah, never got released. But yeah, it was just kind of like learning the ropes, wasn't it? Kind of back then, because obviously we both fans of podcasts and getting to try one of our own seemed like the next logical step.
Yeah, so we're finally doing it. So you do mainly videography, or would you say you're mainly a photographer?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty even split depending on like the work that's coming through. But lately, a lot more video stuff. There's a few companies that kind of use us regularly, and it's kind of a lot of like podcast filming and kind of stuff for brands more so. And yeah, in my own like freelance kind of work, do a lot more weddings, and yeah, kind of more interesting stuff, I guess.
How long have you been doing photography and videos?
I
mean, you've done it for as long as I've known you, and that's been over 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's probably about 12 years now that started doing video. Kind of just like, it was a happy accident. Never really planned to do it. Never really had the dream to become a video guy. It just kind of happened. I was seeing this girl, and she did a bit of modelling, and she wanted me to do like behind the scenes video for one of her shoots, which I did. And the photographer just really enjoyed it. It was just like, I love what you've done. Do you mind doing one for another shoot that you had coming up?
Yeah.
And then just somehow that kind of snowballed from job to job until there was the day where I met you on a shoot, filming a behind the scene. I think it was like some kind of hair brand or something. Yeah, it was the hair extensions. Yeah, of course. And then did a video. I remember I sent it to you, and you was like, "Yeah, sweet man, like nice." And then didn't hear from you again for a good year.
I don't remember that, but I remember the video shoot we did. I remember the
well, and then we did a second shoot, which we were both following. It's like, oh, we've worked together before, and then the rest is history. Do you know what I mean? I think we had a beer after or something, and just got on like house on fire. But then it was through doing more regular videos and behind the scenes for your shoots that I asked you to to teach me the ropes of photography and that. And that got me my start in doing photography. You helped me kind of skip 10 years of learning.
Don't feel bad, but it's your fault. I don't know anything about video.
Well, the thing is,
I was like, if I'm gonna do photography, I've got someone that does video. I don't have to learn this.
So I remember a few times
you could just do video on your phone.
Keep it as our respected disciplines. But I remember saying to you, "Oh, do you want to learn video?" And you were just like, "It's not for me." Just like you were like, don't really have the interest in it. It is a different world, but obviously the foundations are the same. Like how to
very similar. I've actually, me and Dan have realized that because I have a lot of experience in photography, video and video editing comes a little bit easier to me.
Yeah.
So that makes quite a big difference, I think.
Yeah, man.
But learning a new skill.
Yeah, man.
And luckily, I find it interesting and exciting.
Yes, yeah.
But
it's definitely. Nowadays,
completely different.
Yeah, it's so crucial to have as many skills and you'll get this within a lot of people within our kind of industry. Everyone's kind of a jack of all trades. Everyone does a bit of a bit of photography, a bit of video, a bit of this, because ultimately the more skills you have, the more work you can say yes to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean you have to. Yeah, now when I started photography, it was literally I'm going to focus on photography. I'm going to be the best photographer I can be.
Yeah.
If anyone asks me for video, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even going to try. Yeah. Doing photography for 17, 18 years now, and I literally still have the photos from my first shoots.
Yeah.
So storage is the problem.
Of course,
And also I shoot quite a lot, so So storage is a problem for me.
Yeah.
And then also recently I've realized my computer's also not really that great for editing video.
Yeah, I mean,
you need a decent machine. Otherwise, you're going to work with proxies, and you're going to spend most of your life waiting for stuff to turn into proxies,
which then is like doubling up on your storage as well, because you're
exactly.
You then need all that extra storage. However, I proxy everything just for that quicker workflow. Even though the laptop, I've got one of them desktop Macs, it can handle it, but it will start to kind of get a bit slower as obviously it warms up and stuff. Yeah. It's just more convenient, but you can make proxies within camera. While you're filming.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah. Obviously, yeah. It depends on the model in that, but that.
I mean, at home when I play around with it, I use DaVinci Resolve, and it's really easy to do proxies,
Yeah, yeah,
and it doesn't take super long.
yeah.
But here at the studio, we've got a beast of a machine. We can literally edit 4K footage, and it looks like nothing. It's
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, depending on the next step of, like, when we start handling 8K footage more regularly, it's mainly for cropping, yeah, and just like a slightly more acute resolution, I guess. But yeah, like it is so handy for that. Like, if you don't have the right lens, like to be able to crop in twice and it still be like 4K.
Good quality, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth doing.
Not looking forward to that, mate. There's more storage.
No, 100%. Yeah, and I think it will be a very niche job. Like I say, like to warrant that. Like if you are doing something that you need to be closer.
I don't think our eyes can even see 4K.
No, I think they see about 4K kind of thing, and I think someone said or someone worked out we see in like 30 frames per second roughly.
I think.
And when I say like we're seeing 30 frames, obviously it's not like we're taking 30 pictures, but in terms of like if you was to work out like a shutter
The
angle,
motion blur and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, it's kind of more similar to like 30 frames.
Why do people shoot in 25 then?
So, well, there's kind of a rule of thumb with like when you shoot at whatever frame rate, you double your shutter speed.
Yeah.
And 25 frames and say like 50 shutter speed, it's kind of got that cinematic kind of flow. Do you know what I mean? It kind of like movement's not too sharp or too quick. It's kind of nearer to real life, I guess. But it depends if you're like NTAS or PAL, like the American systems or the English systems. They shoot at like 30 frames and 60 frames. We do 25 and 50. So it kind of depends as well, I guess, like, yeah, where you are.
Why is it different?
Why is it different?
Yeah, why do Americans shoot different to us? I'm
Why
sure
do
it's
they-
the same thing.
Why did I lose the U in the word colour? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what, do you know what I mean? Like, Americans.
What's your favorite sort of setup at the moment? What are you? Because I know as photographers we always have loads of gear and we have different lenses and that sort of stuff. And it's normally like the last thing you bought. But what's your favorite like go-to gear at the moment?
For video, not photography then?
Yeah,
For
photography.
video.
No, video. Yeah.
Video. Okay, so video, my trusty Sony A7S III. Absolutely love it. It's such a powerhouse of a camera, and it really has kind of having a camera with these capabilities of like shooting 422 10-bit and like different things that have come with these cameras now that I didn't know about when I was using say like my 7D or my 5D Mark IV. Like because I was like a Canon boy, like through and through. But then when I wanted to pursue video, more so and more in depthly, I needed a camera that was more capable, not a hybrid camera that did a bit of video and did a bit of photography. I wanted a video specific camera. So like the Sony A7S III, it's like a 12 megapixel camera, but for video that doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It's megapixels is such a like photography dominant kind of like more important to.
I know what you mean,
that.
yeah.
So yeah, having a camera that now has more capabilities taught me to be a better videographer because I needed to learn all of these different
What the
aspects.
camera can do, yeah.
I'm just a diehard Sony guy. Like
I think most people shooting videos guys is shooting on Sony.
They are amazing. Also for like if you wanted to like step up to like the more like cinema level cameras, like the Sony FX6 or I think it's the FX6. It's kind of like a nice kind of cheap entry level to like cinematic kind of it's
or
the next
an iPhone 14 Pro.
yeah exactly. So it's like you've got your iPhone shooters and that, and then like your DSLRs and that, like your full frame DSLRs, but then like the next level would be like the kind of cinema range. So you've got like Red, like the Komodo, Canon have their like cine range, don't they? C100 and all of that. You're now looking like the 10-20 grand bracket of like cameras.
Yeah.
But the thing that they kind of have that separates them from, say, like the Sony A7S III or like the Lumix S1 or whatever, it's like functions like, inbuilt XLR points or like zebras, which now we have on our camera. Like these DSLRs are becoming so much more like their cinema counterparts, but can't officially be called a cinema camera because, like missing certain functionalities and like inputs basically. But like you're not far off with like these new DSLRs. Do you know what I mean? People shoot films on these things,
if you think what they use to film stuff nowadays, and also with like integrating AI into it.
Yeah.
There's people literally filming cinema stuff on, like I say, iPhones.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like the 15, like the steady shot it has in it almost gives it like gimbal like qualities. Do you know what I mean? Even at like your 15 times zoom, which it has or whatever.
Did you see the 15 Pro Max? You can just like connect a SSD to it.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
just film and log and
You can film in log, and I think that's also shoots in 422 10-bit. So like its color depth is it's phenomenal. Like to have
for a
that
phone.
100%. But people still need to have this knowledge of like how it all works. Like you can have like the best equipment, but if you ain't got a clue how to use it or how to implement it or how best to position or frame a shot, it's useless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Most
exactly.
people have like we've had like half decent iPhones for a long time. But people still don't know the basics of like taking a photo on it or taking a video.
How would you be up for, because obviously you've been doing video for a long time and I'm only just starting. How would you be up for one day we're filming a challenge, beginner versus pro, and then you have a small shitty camera,
Yeah.
and I'll use
You
your
use the
gear.
Sony.
I'll use
Yeah.
your gear, and then we film and edit something and we make a video
I'm
like
down,
that.
man. Yeah.
that'd be
No,
dope.
let's definitely get that going. I love stuff like that, and like if we could somehow do like a photography one as well. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
You know?
We do a photography one and do a video one.
Yeah.
And you have to do a 1 minute video and then like 4 or 5 images or something.
Yeah. I'm down for the challenge. You know what I mean? No
same.
worries. But to go back to your question of like what's the go-to rig right now?
Sweet.
The A7S III, I use the Ninja V monitor. I was never really a monitor like kind of dude, but now like to have that, because I shoot manual quite a lot, to know that your focus is like crisp and to see it bigger and like for exposure and stuff like that, to like really see like there's options on the Ninja where you basically it's like Predator vision, like Alien vs Predator, like Predator, like you basically see everything in rainbow, but you can get an accurate IRA, which I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but like you want your kind of like face tones and skin tones to like sit between like 50 and 55, and you can accurately see that, so you're exposing for skin correctly and seeing it just like especially for clients and stuff, people love seeing like what you're doing. Same, I guess, like a photo shoot. People love you to be tethered so that they can be like, oh, rather than you showing them the back of the camera. It's just
I hate shooting tethered, but
Yeah.
people want that.
100%. So like for some of the stuff I shoot, like kind of like some of the more bigger clients, having like a Ninja or being tethered to a screen using like a Atmos Mini just to flick between the three cameras, putting it on a screen just so that the customer can look at it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, the Ninja I fucking love. I use small rig stuff for everything, like a NATO
I've
rail.
seen a couple of small rig stuff.
It's so good, man. Like they are like just superior. Like such good build quality. So I have a little cage that I have the camera in, a nice like authentic wooden grip, which I like, and a NATO rail on top with 2 Arri pins so that I can tether my Ninja on top and have it at like a nice angle. And I've also got the rods to put a V-mount battery on the back, so it almost turns your like camera rig into more of like a broadcast. I've got the matte box for the front, so like the barn doors, and it looks a lot more professional when you're at a wedding or something and you rock up and like you're not just using a little DSLR, you basically turn it into a
Oh mate,
full rig.
don't even. I did a shoot once. I worked with this makeup artist, Natalie. You know Natalie.
Yeah.
We did a shoot with one of the actresses from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
And
I was at that.
literally the day before I bought the Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm shooting 4K. I'm gonna come do video.
Yeah. Oh
And
no,
then-
yeah, I know what you're on about.
And I went to this fancy hotel in London, and I
Yeah.
was walking around with the Osmo Pocket, and the footage was beautiful because at the time there was not the Osmo Pocket literally just came out. It was
Yeah.
probably like a week old.
Some of the old Jaguar or something. There's a nice car out front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm walking around a tiny little thing that's big as a thumb drive,
Yeah.
filming.
Yeah.
Filming that, and literally everyone just thought, "What is he doing here?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no one takes you serious when
No.
you turn up with that.
100%.
I mean, the footage looks amazing, but
Yeah.
literally no one even thought I was there to work.
No, 100%. But like, it is mad that that's kind of it shouldn't like be the mark of the man. But like, the more impressive your rig looks, suddenly the more professional you look. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's you could have a really shitty handy cam in the middle of it, but like as long as you've got all the barn doors and the wires and the sound and all this. I was filming a wedding once with a fellow videographer that I won't mention because of what happened. But he had like his full rig, and it's like it was a heavy unit of like a rig. He had like a battery pack on the back, barn doors, lens supports, all of this, and he was holding it by the handle just next to him, and a little one, like came up and like ran up behind him, and he's turned with this thing. It's like a battering ram, like they used to get in Elm's Deep in Lord of the Rings. Do you know what I mean? Like proper heavy metal barrier, like battering ram, and he turned and he hit this kid. Kid fell to the floor. Yeah, like this kid's fallen over anyway. Like the dad's come over and picked him up. And the kid's got a lazy eye, but we didn't know the kid had a lazy eye.
Oh, you thought
he's seen this like, the kid's like crying, and then looked up and its eyes like rolling at the bottom of his head and thinking, oh my god, what have I done? Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, so that's the downside of having a full rig. Do you know what I mean? Be careful when swinging it about. But photography setup. Just to go back to that, if you did want to know, like
Yeah, of course.
I like yourself. Used an umbrella for the first time and then just haven't looked back since. Like I love
umbrella.
like it's my favourite modifier. Like you can't go wrong with like a nice beauty dish for like obviously depending on what it is, like maybe a beauty or whatever. But I just find that the umbrella is so versatile for like a one light setup.
Man, I'm so gutted. I told you to get the silver umbrella. When
Yeah.
When my white one went.
Yeah.
Because the silver one I never used.
Yeah, dude. Hey, that's such a shame because it's so much more contrasty, isn't it? Like with the
So much
silver.
more. It's nice. Sometimes it looks nice.
Yeah.
But I would say for the majority of stuff, I hate the silver umbrella. The white umbrella, the white Profile umbrella is beautiful.
Yeah.
The silver one is just...
Yeah, I use
Annoys
it
the
like
crap out of me.
all the time. It's like my go-to. Be it, creating like moody side lighting or just like, lighting it clean from in front or even like putting the light behind them. Like you've got like so many options and you can make so many different styles out of one modifier.
Yeah. I mean, I used to shoot with beauty dish for the first 90% of my career, and then I got a white Profile umbrella, and it's just like this is just
Changes everything.
It's just it's beautiful.
Yeah, and creates such a nice soft lighting. Especially like I got the diffuser for it as well. So like obviously your light's going into the umbrella, bouncing back, and then I've got like a white diffuser, turns it almost into like an octo box. So it's like the once times softness and then the twice, and just I love that kind of milky kind of looking image almost. But still obviously having plenty of like detail in the shot. But yeah, I use that for everything, man. Like it just my go-to.
Yeah.
As well as them Pro Photo B10s. So handy.
My Profile has been in a bag for months. I haven't used them in ages.
Yeah.
The studio I'm working at now has all the equipment you need, so it just saves me carrying loads of bags and stuff there.
Yeah.
I literally turn up with my camera case, shoot and leave.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of like what you were saying about Sony, like, that it being all or nothing. Like,
Profile definitely is. Like, there's
Profile-
nothing that comes near it for me.
I use like their umbrella, I use their like trigger, I use their lights, I use even their branded diffusion. Like
Looking for a sponsorship deal.
Yeah, 100%, man.
I mean,
Sign us
if
up.
Profile wants to sponsor me,
Yeah.
all my info is on everywhere on the internet.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, just the best. And I haven't used a flash like it. I don't know. I just like the color science to it. Like everything.
It's the
is
best,
so-
mate. There's a reason you pay so much for it, because it is literally the best.
Even their gels are pretty good. Because like for a while I got really into like color gel photography and like doing that kind of. I'll send you some samples if you want to bosh them in or whatever.
Yeah.
And I used to work for a company called Roscoe, which is like a big manufacturer of gels. And
I
don't get me
remember.
wrong, but yeah, like the Profile gels are actually so well made that I ended up resorting to using them, even though I've got fucking shitloads of these Roscoe ones. Like, don't get me wrong, they're still amazing gels, and but like the Profile ones, they're neatly cut and shaped to the Profile B10s, so like they're perfect. And
To fit in,
and there's like again, like of course, a Profile attachment that like slots them in, rather than having to like drape it over a light and like try and
that.
tape it and like. 'cause
Nowadays
it's a
with
big
LEDs,
rectangle.
mate, you don't even need
100%
gels anymore.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Maybe for photography, but even
It depends if you're doing constant light or flash.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I always use them gels for like obviously flash stuff, but I've seen people use them like with constant. I just find like you've never got enough as much clarity. It's never as clean an image like without. That's
No,
what I was
I
for.
haven't. I've never figured out the gel stuff. I think I've done 1 or 2 shoots with gels.
Yeah.
I've tried, but never really liked the way it looked. I think I did the one shoot with
Carl,
Kyle.
and yeah, we did
Yeah,
a
that
joint
came
shoot
out
with
good.
Carl, yeah.
Yeah, that came out good.
And then you also did one with like some super muscly dude.
Oh yes, the guy from the gym downstairs,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
studio. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that.
I remember seeing that, but they turn out well, man. The thing with gel
Mate, it's
photography
mostly
is,
Photoshop. I think that's
yeah,
the main.
it's all in the edit with like gel photography. It's kind of like how you bring it out. Also, like the amount of work you do to that image within Lightroom as well, like kind of, you know, optimizing your hue and saturation to really bring them colors out. You know,
Have you like used all the AI features and stuff in Lightroom?
not in Lightroom, I haven't. No, I did a lot in like
It's
Premiere
changed
and
how
Photoshop.
it changed how I edit now.
Really, that good.
So good.
But
Have you played with generative fill in Photoshop?
I have, yeah. I made my logo in it. As well as like doing the photography video stuff, I've got this like nerdy side hobby of macro photography of bugs. Like, I just like,
Yeah, I wanted
love
to talk to you about that.
man. And
It's amazing, by the way. Yeah,
Thank you.
Your macro
Yeah,
photography is
no,
unreal.
really
What's the
appreciate
Instagram for that? I need to-
Bug Catcher Joe. So that's actually what I use the generative fill for. I don't know if like any of your listeners like used to play the classic Pokemon, you know, like the old red, blue, and yellow. There was an enemy that you'd come to like in the first few like, you know, encounters, and it'd be like bug catchers. So it'd be like, oh, bug catcher Adam wants to fight, or bug catcher whatever, and they were like Pokemon trainers who just had bug Pokemon. So it's kind of like a bit of a spin on that, like Bug Catcher Joe. And what we did is took the Pokemon card of a bug catcher, took that rectangle, expanded it, and then added like a beard to like all using generative fill, added a camera to his side bag. So it's like the logo is like, yeah, like meant to be me as a bug catcher using the Pokemon cards, but with like, yeah, generative fill to manipulate it to make it look like me. Add tattoos, like we added a beard.
I think I missed that.
But yeah, so it's a bit of a play on that. But yeah, that's the only time I've really delved in with. I've done it on a couple of shoots just to expand background and like remove the odd thing. But you know, I think old habits die hard. I'm such a whiz with patch tool and stuff that like, you know, I have my ways, my methods to do them things. And then you often forget, oh fuck, I can just click generative fill and just get rid of that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but,
So, sorry to change subject. Well, it's not really change subject. Projects wise, do you mainly do client work, or do you have projects that you work on? Other than the insect macro photography is amazing.
Yeah. So,
But is there any projects that you do by yourself or that you work on?
yes, yeah, no. So there's a group that hires me that kind of gives me like the super drug jobs, Boots, Holland and Barrett. Like they deal with these big companies and just kind of like hire me as a subcontractor for everything they do for video, which is great. And then obviously there's the wedding clients that kind of trickle in, but then a lot of the kind of shoots that I kind of like actively, you know, try and seek are more creative shoots that are enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, I mean that's what we all do. Yeah,
100%. Where it's kind of like, you know, sure I might get someone like call me up and be like, oh, can you film this interview or this talking head and this, that, and the other, but the ones where it's just like a fellow hairstylist or makeup artist. And, you know, sometimes they're more creative shoots. There's one that I'm planning in a minute with a mutual mate of ours, Anna. Anna Dingus, the makeup artist. I got really into anamorphic lenses. So 21 who
love
doesn't-
anamorphic lenses.
it's stunning. Like 21 who doesn't know, like an anamorphic lens from the front almost looks like a square. Kind of oval. Like, and the back of camera, all of your footage, everyone will be like really tall and skinny and all sucked in, but using something, say, like the Ninja V or a monitor that can, de-squeeze it so that it looks more like cinematic. It's why in cinematic footage you get the black bars at the top and bottom. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people add it in post because they think it makes it look more cinematic, but
Yeah, I've
really
done that.
you just look like a fool if you're adding black bars. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, well, you're just getting rid of some of your shot. Anyway, personal pet peeve there. But
You say it because you've spent the money on the lens.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I used to add the black bars because I thought it made it look more cinematic. But yeah, it's the oldest trick in the book. But yeah,
Doesn't the anamorphic lens mess with lights as well? It makes the lights.
yes. So you get a different kind of
Lens
bokeh.
flare.
So instead of the bokeh of normal lenses, like when you have a shallow depth of field and say like in the background you've got like some fairy lights or something, it will look like orbs, like circular orbs. The circle is just a reflection of
On the lens.
Yeah, it's what would I say? just as a result of using a spherical lens, but because of the anamorphic being kind of more oval, you get oval shaped bokeh. But then you also get more dramatic lens flares. Depending on the anamorphic lens, you can get lens flares that are either blue or you can get some that are orange. It kind of comes with how expensive the lens is. You can also get anamorphics that won't have that mad bleeding of lens flare. Again, just all depends on like how the glass is arranged and whatnot. But there's some that I got. It was a company called Siru or Sire. I think they're Japanese, and they've kind of really nailed the market of having these affordable anamorphic lenses. It's probably like $1,000, 1,500 a lens, but they do like your kind of main hitters, your 35, your 50, 75. I think they do a 100mm as well. And I bought the 50.
They're all prime lenses, sorry.
All primes, yeah. So I bought the 50 just because thought, well, the nifty 50. It's such an all-round,
Lens, yeah.
lens. But when you think it's 50mm up and down, but really you're looking at more of like a 35mm because of the extra width that you have because of the D-squeeze. I have wanted to test these out, so I messaged Anna, like, fucking cut a long story short, get back to that, and said, like, I'd love to do, like, a little cinematic kind of short film of, like, one of your creations, because she does these mad, like, elaborate characters, almost can turn people into monsters, or, like, Disney princess, like, she's phenomenal at what she does.
Yeah, no, I've seen her. I've worked with her a couple times.
Yeah.
Her work's amazing.
Such a lovely woman as well. And I just had this idea of, like, doing a video of like 4 models, but each of them representing a different element, and then like her letting loose with makeup and like creating like a fire element person, a water, earth, and like a wind. And we're gonna shoot it in a couple of months, and try and make this like cinematic, epic looking, stuff. And that's just one of them creative projects where it's just kind of like, we've been talking about it for a while, but both parties benefit. Do you know what I mean? We both get to showcase our work and like, kind of reignite the passion of the job. Because when you're just doing stuff like talking heads and corporate videos, all like you're happy to do what you love for a living, but you're not really enjoying like the kind of content that you're producing all the time.
Yeah.
So to do these ones where it just kind of re-engages the passion, reignites it, and you're just like, I do love what I'm doing, and I'm doing this because I love what I do and stuff.
Yeah. So do you have a creative process when you're thinking about making it? Like, so for instance, this video you want to do with Anna. Is there a creative process of that you're planning it, or you just go with the flow and see what happens on the day?
Yeah, I definitely think there's some kind of prep work, especially when it comes to like obviously like lighting. Will it be just come rain or shine, whatever the weather's like saying that day? Props and things like that. Obviously, I'm trying to use these anamorphic lenses, so really the rig is going to be built towards that. So I'll have like two. Like in terms of preparation, I guess, of the shoot, like, I would be looking into what am I going to bring with me, and am I just going to be on a one lens setup because I only currently own one anamorphic. I want to get a new gimbal because the gimbal I currently have, the Moser Air 2 or whatever, doesn't have the best weight load. So like when you've got an anamorphic lens, they're big, heavy, metal, well-made lenses, it becomes too front heavy. And obviously the gimbal won't support it. It will just like buzz and like, come off. So that is something like considering like, I'm either going to have to do it all handheld and like broadcast it, or invest in a new gimbal, because then that opens up a lot more shots and like movement, and kind of then you can create more of a narrative through the movement of the shot, not just be limited with, the rigidity of a tripod or something, So like I suppose there's this. They're the things that I'm thinking going into it. It's like kind of what equipment I'm going to need, how is it best going to suit, the kind of story I'm trying to tell. And then things like props and stuff, like colourful smoke grenades could be cool. Like when we shoot on the water, she's got like a fog machine, so we're going to like create a layer of smoke over the water as like a girl kind of emerges. I take screenshots on my phone. Like sometimes if I'm watching a film, and like I like something, I'll maybe like take a picture, or if I've got it on my phone, like screenshot it and create this kind of bank of shots that I want to replicate or try out one day. So,
oh mate, this is going to sound so ridiculous. I've only been doing video for a couple of weeks now, since we've started doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm already looking at stuff completely different.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Last night I was watching, I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix, Rebel Moon.
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I heard about it. Yeah,
Dude,
Charlie
it's
Hunnam and
ridiculous. Like I mean, the shots. I was sitting last night watching it, and I was like, the people who made this had so much fun.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you can see the effort that went into like every shot has been. There's like just so much, and how they've set it up and how they've framed it, and like the little details. And there's some like action scenes that so much fun.
yeah.
Because it's literally like one of those things. I maybe because I look at things differently now, and I didn't think of it like that. But now I look at it and I'm just like, you can see where they made the effort to put
Yeah.
like little things in, and where they changed things, and how they lit things, and how they framed things, and it's just like, oh my god, it looks like so much fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, like when now with this kind of mindset of like this new appreciation of video, rewatch something like the classic films, like like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho or like
I
Shine.
don't, I don't watch scary movies anyway, so that
It's, to be fair, not the scariest of films, but like in terms of just watching like a master of his craft and like looking at the shots and like how it's kind of set, and you suddenly you just think so differently about it. There's a shot in Psycho where it just looks up at the shower head, and the shower head is like shooting basically just water over the camera. But you think like, how the fuck did they do that? How did they get that shot where it's
Yeah,
mirrored
exactly.
as well without getting the camera in there? And do you know what I mean? Like you start watching some of these things and you realize these are why these are such prestigious directors and like
I mean, I saw one where I think it was a video on YouTube where they were talking about like top 10 like best camera tricks or something that they've done in Hollywood films, and there's this one video of a young girl running down a hallway,
and
the
then it goes into the mirror
the
and
camera's
back.
tracking her, and then all of a sudden she opens the door and it's in the mirror, and it's like, what?
Yeah, no, I know exactly the clip you're on about, man. Like that, it turns out it's just clever green screening, basically within the mirror.
Yeah, that clip just
Yeah.
messes with your head. You're just like, oh,
Yeah,
how
they
did that
shot it
even
all
happen?
in the mirror, or like how did? Yeah.
No, but they couldn't have, because the camera follows her running
Goes up
down the
stairs
hallway.
as she's running down the hallway, and then to that little bathroom. But yeah, that's one of my favourite shots of all time. Absolutely stunning.
Also, what I've started becoming a little bit obsessed about is transitions. I didn't realize it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like how you can make transitions invisible and just like part of the thing, so you don't even realize they happen.
Yeah, like basic masking. Masking is such a like underrated tool. Like learn how to mask, and your transitions will just like fucking revolutionize. There's one that I saw recently where like someone's walking in the forest, and they basically just like camera comes out from behind a tree, but they've masked it so that this shot almost like comes into into the shot before, but as they go behind the tree, even though you can still see the tree, they're now in a different place, and it's just like using like
I've seen
yeah,
something like
it's,
that,
it's
yeah.
it's all they've done is like remove like kind of one side of the shot other than like that side of the tree, and like obviously layered something else behind it, but done well, like that can be so seamless. It's like one of the first little tricks I learned like when I was like filming weddings and that was using people, because you're kind of behind the scenes or whatever, and
Using people to pan past them.
exactly, and then like as you like pan past them,
It's a different place.
Yeah, you can lose the camera to basically black if their whole like back covers the lens, and then as you go around, it's like, what? How the fuck have they gone from there? Like but them kind of transitions also like flicking. Flicking's something that like I've really got into now because I do a lot of like tattoo.
Is that when you like go like that, like
just
flick the
at the
camera,
end, yeah.
and then your next shot flicks the same way,
Exactly,
and then it looks
yeah.
like it's just a fast movement.
Exactly, and like
Yeah, I'm learning
speed
about this.
ramping that movement. So even though it's quite quick, maybe altering the speed or doing like a steady ramp up. Because like a speed ramp, like some people think, oh, you just lop off the end of the like shot and then just suddenly like up the speed of that. But it's called a speed ramp because you
That's to go
keyframe the
smooth.
speed up. Do you know what I mean? You don't just suddenly go like, oh, normal clip, suddenly it's fast. Like it's
So
natural.
what, do you do that in Premiere Pro, and you do
Yeah.
like with an adjustment layer or something?
Yeah, with like keyframes and like, but them little flicks, like you can buy like a lot of
Premiere presets.
yeah, which will just suddenly like kind of create that look. But if you can do it all in camera, it does just seem seamless, like kind of going down behind something like say like a desk or a table, and then your next shot kind of bringing it from up, and it's almost as if the camera's gone down and we're into a new place,
Into
like
another
doing
room,
that
yeah.
behind someone's back, like clever transitions is what holds your attention. Do you know what I mean?
How important is social media to you?
I'm so lazy with social media. Do you know what I mean? Like I should be more proactive and like, you know, post more often and, you know, really manipulate the algorithm or whatever. But like most of my work is word of mouth. Do you know what I mean? Like someone will recommend me, or like someone will just like message me because they've seen something that I've done for someone else. And they're just like, oh, I love your work. Do you know what I mean? Like, can I book in or whatever? And it's like, yeah, sweet, you know. Yeah, it's definitely one of my biggest downfalls is not being more proactive on social media.
Have you ever thought about hiring someone to do your social media for you?
Nah, I don't like people.
I don't like people.
I don't know. Just like, you know, things are steady, things are working. I'm happy with how things are going. Sure, they could be better, but I like pursuing more of this kind of like, you know, like the bug photography and the stuff that I actually enjoy. So when I'm not working, I'm just enjoying making the content that I want to see. Like maybe not the content everyone else wants to see.
Yeah.
Like alongside the bug stuff, I'm trying to actively become more of a personality on camera and like speak to the camera, and like, you know, doing something like this is good because it kind of like, you know, puts you in an uncomfortable territory that I'm not used to
Mate,
being in front of the camera.
this is
like,
I would say a couple months ago, this is my worst nightmare.
oh god,
and
yeah.
I mean, we've done a couple of tests, and I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to get a little bit better in front of the camera. And I don't think about the camera so much.
Yeah, that's the secret.
I mean, it helps that
We know
one of my closest friends.
Yeah, definitely, 100%, man. But yeah, like trying to speak to almost an audience that aren't actually there. So like when I'm doing these like bug videos or whatever, or just like a bit of hiking or something, and kind of like, you know, setting up the camera, walking in front of it, then going back, picking up the camera. Do you know what I mean? Because you kind of have to show this story of, you know, you going up the hill, finding this spot, taking these photos or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people don't realise the fucking work that goes behind setting up the camera, walking into the shot, going back, getting the camera, like, do you know what I mean? And that kind of leapfrogging. But
I mean, I've never wanted to be in front of the camera. It never really bothered me. But I think the way the world is changing and the way the industry is changing, you kind of just have to figure it out.
It's how we digest content nowadays. Is kind of like you want to see the person behind the art.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, 100%. But I think it's nice when people know the person that they obviously see the videos or pictures of you, and then they know who they're going to meet. Do you know what I mean? It's suddenly a lot more like personable, isn't it? To like, you know, go there with already an idea of who you're going to meet, who you're going to work with. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just like, oh yeah, his work's great, but like, who's this guy going to be? Like, especially like in like our industry of like, you know, say when we're shooting like models and stuff, you know, like a young lass, bless her, like going to a random shoot on her own. It's nice for them to know who they're going to meet. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just like, who could this creep be? Do you know what I mean? Like, or how creepy you could be or whatever. Like, I know what I'm saying. But, yeah, I think it's good to have that face so people know, and, you know, sure, obviously it must be annoying people coming up to you and being like, oh my God.
I don't see you post anything about yourself.
No, I don't. Like, that's why I'm trying to do it with this like bug stuff and that. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to, be more of a face, because I want to like. I hate TikTok, but it is like one of the most potent tools nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone like uses it. It's like it's the kind of, you know, it's more popular than Instagram and Facebook. Do you know what I mean? They'll always have their place, but TikTok is, you know, how people digest their fucking doom scrolling lately. I
thought it was mainly for kids, but I've realised older people are on it as well.
Oh god, yeah. There's a whole.
I had it on my phone for like a week and I deleted it because I was like, this is going to suck up your life.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like, I find myself doom scrolling for like hours, and do you know what I mean? But because of like the algorithm and like it comes up with the kind of content obviously you want to see because of the stuff you like and whatnot, I get like a lot of I like the educational things. So it'll be like kind of people like foraging or something, and it's just like talking about medicinal herbs that they found, and you find it like it's like the equivalent of reading a book or watching a documentary.
Yeah, but that's the algorithm. That's just figure out what you like.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, let me give you more of this so it never goes away.
But it's less like, you know, someone doing a fucking shitty dance and more just like, actually I'm learning as I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? But again, I guess that depends on what kind of content you're liking. Yeah. But that's the kind of content I want to like produce, that kind of like educational shit where it's like, like, I'm here in a fucking bush and this bug looks cool.
So are you doing anything towards that, or are you just thinking about it still?
I've done 2 videos. I posted one recently. Me and the missus went to Scotland and like I tested out my new like 600mm lens. And
I saw that footage. That was amazing. Yeah. We definitely need to put that footage up. If you
thanks,
have. I hope you brought it with you.
am fare thee well now. I am strong. I am goodbye. I'm a long way from home. I am an orchard at the start of spring. I am a mockingbird, I love to sing, and I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. I am an old road walking on my feet. I am laughing neath the weeping willow tree. I am a dog barking, a honeybee sting. I ain't no angel, but I've got my wings. I'm gonna fly. 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 I am moving, I am flesh and bones. I am a gunshot with a microphone. I'm a boy at the window as the summer sun sets. An old man in winter, nothing more, nothing less. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. And I think like when you're making content you like, you're more passionate about it.
Oh,
and
100%.
therefore it looks better, you know.
100%.
But yeah, no, like that's the kind of stuff I really want to make more of. Because yeah, like we're doing a big walk at the end of the year. Me and my mate Joe, we're walking the length of the country, and we're gonna film it as we do it, and try and like post regularly on.
You're gonna
TikTok.
walk the length of the country
Yeah, yeah. It's 42 days of 20 miles a day.
on a treadmill.
No, yeah.
You need to be more specific.
Yeah, you know, like
I'm gonna
we're
walk the
getting John
thing-
O'Groats to Land's End. That might be the other way around. I don't know, but yeah, we're walking the whole length, and we're gonna like film as we're doing it. We're bringing a drone, so
How
we're
long is
kind of
that
gonna
gonna take?
42 days if we do 20 miles a day. It's like we're
Not in those shoes.
nah, I wouldn't be down in Ducks. To be fair though, I went up a mountain in Glencoe in Doc Martens, and yeah, good boots. Highly recommend.
When I was a teenager, I used to wear Doc Martens,
Yeah.
and my dad always used to like take the out of me. He's like, "Have you got polio?" Probably gonna have to cut that bit out. But yeah, no, my dad is from a different generation.
Yes, yeah, different.
But yeah,
generation
no.
altogether.
So we always used to. Every time my dad saw me with Doc Martens, he used to
polio.
tell me about polio.
I remember you told us a joke once about like you saw a.
Oh, it's like a grasshopper.
Yeah,
with-
grasshopper in like gun cases or something.
in bullet shells.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's no.
Beautiful.
In Afrikaans, that's way funnier.
Yeah, I remember you saying like back home that would have killed, but
Yeah, no, in
yeah,
Afrikaans, that's way funnier,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
hilarious. But in
different.
English,
Yeah.
not so much, man.
We have a very weird humour here. But yeah, that big walk gonna do like get some decent like hiking boots. I've got some hiking boots, and like we've both been walking a lot in preparation to that, and we're doing it for men's mental health.
You
we're
and Joe.
raising, yeah,
Okay. Joe and Joe.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna raise some money for hopefully like Mind Charity or yeah, just something to give back to mental health. Yeah, so we need
Okay,
to.
nice. If you could choose one, what would be your favorite project you've worked on, video-wise and photography-wise,
Ooh.
and why?
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah, shit. You caught me off guard now, man.
Sorry, man. Think about it. There's no rush.
Yeah, I mean, Video wise, it was probably a very recent shoot. I went to Switzerland and I filmed with like one of the most world renowned like tattoo artists, a guy called Philip Lou.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, incredible.
I've known
artist.
about him for years, by the way.
Yeah, dude, like he is like, you know, god level of tattooing and respect. You know, he was pals with Boog, obviously, and he had a hand drawn Boog writing on his wall. I remember
I've got the hand-drawn boog all over me, mate.
exactly, man. But it was just like cool to see like artists appreciate artists.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And yeah, we was out. He has this like log cabin between like at the top of a mountain in Switzerland. And we went there. It was autumn. So like you go up this like fucking fairy tale-esque mountain, like
I
winding
know, I've been to
roads,
Switzerland, it's beautiful.
absolutely stunning. And then like we get to the top, and there's this log cabin that was all foggy at the top. So like it was just like out of nowhere, like you kind of go through the clouds.
Well-
It felt like fucking like almost like religious. Like basically you open the door and like this light was like behind him, and like we've just climbed a mountain, like, you know, like we're at the top of the clouds, and like suddenly he emerges and he's like, come in, and it's just like legend. But yeah, like that to film was beautiful. I filmed a podcast with him and a good mate of mine, Joao Busco, amazing tattoo artist as well. He's currently doing like my torso. And it was him getting the last touches of his bodysuit, but like filming Philippe, like how he tattoos, and you know, he has like pieces of paper all around the room with like the exact measurement of the ink, like how much ink he used to water, and he's got all of the records of like every tattoo he does, like how he used it, what ink, whatever. It's just really cool, like, you know, to appreciate that. So yeah, that's got to be like my favourite like video thing, just because it was epic to like, you know, travel and shoot and, you know, be working with people and like a concept I enjoy, like tattooing and stuff.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, I know Norm was friends with him as well.
Yes, yeah.
And he knew Boog as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Small world, mate. When it
really
comes to
is.
that sort of stuff, it's a small world.
Yeah,
like
it really is, man.
some of the best people in the world is a very small world.
Oh god, yeah. You know, like we know it in our industry, like makeup artists and hairstylists, like everyone seems to kind of know everyone. But photography wise, that's tough, man. Like, I mean, like I loved some of the gel stuff that I did. That was really fun. I normally hate event photography. I really dislike it just because of like the awkwardness of like trying to get people to pose, and I'm a flash photographer, not a natural light photographer, so it's like the blinding light. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and some people are like, oh, you know, because they're in a dark room and suddenly they're like pelting them with 250 watts of light, you know. But I was doing this event photography at Claridge's, like a hotel in London, and it was the owner's birthday, and a mate of mine had just built a motorbike for him, so like he wanted to take some photos of him on the bike and like just event of the night, documentation of the night. Anyway, like we're sitting there, and they was like, for tonight's entertainment, Katie Melua,
I think I remember this.
I had a massive crush on Katie Melua. Like, she's absolutely gorgeous, like, and you just used to love her music. Like I still do, you know. And it was just like I felt like a kid at primary school, like basically like in front of the
song about bicycles or something.
Yeah, 9 million bicycles in Beijing.
Oh,
yeah. And like I was just basically at the front of the stage, like I just kind of like stopped taking photos. I was just kind of like looking up in her admiration. Anyway, like did some photos and that, and like this is why it's one of my favorite like shoots I've done, just because like I was taking photos of like a celebrity performing. And I hadn't really done that before, and I was using a Powers telescopic like 300mm lens or something. This was all on the Canon, and like took some beautiful photos. There was like some lasers behind and that, and like it turned out really well. Anyway, we finished filming, and they was like, "Oh, can you come round back and take a photo of the owner with Katie?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck, like, of course." And I went round there, mate, and like obviously, you know, like we've worked with like, models and stuff. Never had a problem like talking to a girl, or like, you know, like a pretty lass or whatever. But like for some reason, I crumbled like Ravita. Like honestly, like I was talking to her. I was like, "Hey, Katie, it was great to see you like shooting again." Obviously, that's what I wanted to say. All that came out was probably just, do you know what I mean? Like, but I was completely like starstruck. I don't know why. It was such a random fucking thing to do, but yeah, man, that was probably one of my favourite shoots, just because it was like just cool, man. Like, yeah, you know, to be humbled with being starstruck. You know, like it's not a feeling like, you know, we work with like plenty of celebs, and it's never really something you know you talk to them like any normal person. Yeah. But out of nowhere, for some reason, she just took my breath away. I was just like, fuck. But I also have to say, like, some of my favourite shoots, like stuff that we've done together, where I've been like just doing behind the scenes or whatever, because it's just it's fun working with like one of your best pals.
Yeah, I mean, we worked together for years.
Yeah,
feels like years.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Loads of fun, mate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we've done loads of stuff together. what's your future looking like? I mean, I know you are talking about maybe moving to Scotland, maybe
Yeah.
staying here, or if you move there, you'll still work here. What's happening with the future? What's your plans?
Yeah.
Do you have any? I mean, we don't know really what's going to happen in the future, but
No.
what are you thinking about?
Um,
Personal wise, start off personal wise and then work wise.
yeah, so personal wise, like I want to pursue this, like obviously like the bug photography and like the kind of wildlife photography and video, like that kind of thing. I think as much as I love doing it, I think there is a real market for it because I think, you know, when you're working in the office in London or whatever, people like that escapism of just like looking on their phone and seeing someone like in a mountain or in nature, and it's just kind of like, you know, it's comforting to watch that. I know a lot of people who love like van life stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, if I was to move to Scotland, which I hoping we will, like that would be the kind of content that I would, you know, film a lot more of. Work wise, I am still obviously tight with that company. Like things are great. It's only like an hour and a half flight back if I did go to Scotland, so I would.
And it's not
continue-
every day. It's not every day.
No,
It's
and they
like-
let me know, like, because obviously they've got to arrange like talent, celebs, like production and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's always enough in advance that I could just fly back and do that stuff still. But yeah, definitely need to make a bit more of a push. Like I don't love shooting weddings, but I'm good enough at it to
Make money.
obviously,
from it,
yeah, like
work,
for people
yeah.
to still ask me to film their weddings, that I wouldn't mind maybe going to like some wedding fairs and like.
I mean, Scotland is a place for weddings, I think.
Yeah, I've already got one booked up there. We're filming. It's the beautiful castle that they're getting filmed in. So that'll be a good like kind of showrunner for that. A good promotional piece. And then photography wise, I just, you know, unless I'm getting asked for like event photography, I haven't had many like shoots other than like because I enjoy doing it and it's creative and it's like just meeting up with like a model mate and being like, hey, let's take some photos. You know what I mean? I haven't had, you know, much demand in that. But like I say, like I haven't really been advertising that I've been doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like it is my biggest downfall is just not promoting myself more. But
Aren't we
hard.
all?
Yeah, it's the curse of the creative, man. Like, do you know what I mean?
Aren't
then,
we all?
Then you start comparing yourself to like others. I know, like, was it?
I know, I stopped doing that years ago.
It's
You have to.
it's tough, man. Just because like, you know, a lot of my peers
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Tennessee Williams, yeah, so quiet, man. Yeah, like it really is. But you can't help, you know, in this industry, like seeing like some of your pals who are doing video, your pals doing photography, and being like, if I could just get close to that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, what they've done there.
But you should use that as a push to improve.
100%, I do.
Not to
Yeah.
to make yourself feel like crap and say,
no.
I'm shit.
Yeah, no, but then like, you know, this time of year as well, like, and I know like all creatives know this, like January and February, like it's pretty dead for video. Like the start of the year, it's typically like
Even photography, mate, photography was quiet for me at the beginning of the year.
You get a few jobs, you kind of see it by, and then like it gets to this time of the year, and you're like, oh fuck, man, like, you know, should I still be doing this? Do you know what I mean? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Should I go back on the building site and just like get back to bricklaying or something? But then suddenly April comes, companies get their budget again. Suddenly everyone's like, oh, can you shoot? And you're like, oh yeah, fucking, yeah, I do like doing this. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like suddenly the work comes in. So yeah, like, sorry, I'm putting a bit of a long-winded way of answering your question, but
I mean, the podcast is supposed to be a long-winded way.
100%.
If you gave me a one-word answer, I'd be like,
Yeah,
Damn
pretty short pod.
try that again.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how the future's looking at the minute. But want to just keep doing these like creative ones, like say this one with Anna, like doing stuff that like you enjoy and it's just fun. It's like doing something a little bit different and a little bit more elaborate. Than just like a talking head interview for an accountancy firm or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Is there anything that we can help with?
Well, because of like the nature
Video-wise?
of like, wildlife stuff and that, like.
I mean, I can dress up as a bug.
I mean, that'd be sweet. Like, do you know what I mean? Would absolutely love that. Please, take a note.
I'd have to think of go to a costume shop and maybe get some wings or I don't know.
Just go full caterpillar. Colin the caterpillar. Do you know what I mean? Just I'm a beautiful.
Dress up as a cake or a caterpillar.
Fucking put them together, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like because of the nature of that work, it's so solo shot.
solo, yeah.
It's, do you know what I mean? That's just how it is. But I love that because I'm so used to having to work in big teams for like the podcast that we shoot, and obviously you've got like, you know, like I say with the like tethering like the free cams to like a TV, which, you know, people from that company might be in another room, and you've kind of got like patch it there, and then, you know, oh god, if you have people on Skype, and then you've got to like make sure everyone can hear each other and all that. It's like it's always such a big elaborate shoot, so it's nice to have this kind of side hobby where it's just me. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like you're just in your own head and just like creating the content you want to create. It's nice though, the balance though. I enjoy working as part of a team.
I mean, this is a obviously this is our first episode, so this is a small podcast for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely want to get you involved in like doing challenges and that sort of thing, especially video wise, because I know, I mean, maybe it's a bit selfish, but I know I'll learn.
Yeah, no,
if we do that sort of stuff.
Always happy to learn and share the knowledge. You know what I mean? I can't stand people who gatekeep that knowledge. You know what I mean?
And but also more of just let's hang out. I mean, well, we were at one point together every single day.
Yes, yeah.
For years and years, we used to work together every single day.
Yeah.
And now I'm lucky if I see you once every 6 months.
Yeah, no, I know that's shocking to me.
So I think we need to before you move away, or even if you move, you come down. We do something actually creative with it.
100%, man. I'm so down. Yeah, so down for that, man. Because it's fun. Obviously, we have such a passion for this kind of like career and this kind of work. But like doing the stuff with your pals and like making content together, it's so enjoyable. That's what gets me through a wedding. It's like filming it with, so like Joe was saying. Do you know what I mean? Like having another creative there to kind of get you through it. But you know,
I made weddings is my worst. I've done a couple of weddings, photography wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, like stories I can tell you from my experience of shooting weddings, mate. I've had one wedding for a friend of mine, where I had to leave midway through the wedding, find an Argos to buy memory cards.
Dude.
And I had loads of memory cards with me, but literally halfway through the day, my memory cards were full, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? So I said to them, oh, I'm going to quickly run to the shop. I'll be back. Luckily, the wedding wasn't in the middle of nowhere. It was in town.
Yeah.
And I literally just went Argos, bought memory cards and some spare batteries, and came back. And I don't think they even noticed I was gone. I was probably gone for like 20 minutes.
That was lucky then.
Yeah, very lucky. But no. It's,
I don't know if this is like an unpopular opinion, but I think videoing a wedding is so much easier than photographing a wedding. I've done both. And I've actually done both at one wedding where I was the videographer and the photographer.
Oh, I've done that as well.
The worst thing, because you can't focus enough attention on each. The other suffers while you're doing, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like the first kiss or the like first dance or whatever, and it's like, well, do you want it videoed or photographed? Because I can't do both at once. Do you know what I mean? Why I say video is easier than photography for weddings, the camera's always rolling. So
with photography, you can't say, oh, can you kiss the bride again?
Exactly, which every wedding photographer does. And like they you know, it is a gift to be able to orchestrate people and be like, right, come on guys, like, you know, and like trying to gather people for photos, and that it's like, it's a horrible discipline, but some people are great at it, some people like.
I think the last wedding I did, I actually used your Pro Photo Lights because they weren't plugged in. They were batteries.
So fucking handy. I can't big them lights up enough. But like video, you can be a fly on the wall and just kind of film. You don't really need to orchestrate them unless you're making it more of a wedding film than a wedding document of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's a big difference. Like, some people hire a wedding videographer because they want to show a narrative. Do you know what I mean? Maybe have them reading the speeches over the top of footage of them being together or whatever. But typically, a lot of the wedding videos that I do, it's just a document of the day, like highlights of the day. Do you know what I mean? People just want to see how it all went. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you've got a photographer being like, oh, that's it, guys, now pose, hold a head like this, do this, whatever, it's kind of, you know, you kind of have that. I'm selling a wedding at the minute. I filmed a wedding, a Love Island wedding. It was actually the first wedding I ever filmed, which was like, you know, no pressure. It's a celebrity wedding. Like, good luck, you know. And I filmed it on like 3 cameras on the ceremony, and like the wind blew one of my cameras and a tripod over, and like, you know, everyone's like, oh, and I was like, oh, it's fine. It's like, it's probably not fine. Do you know what I mean? The camera's like face down in the dirt. Do you know what I mean? Thinking, like, oh fuck, is that smashed? But it was like with OK magazine. And on the cover image of them like walking down the aisle, there's me in the middle with my gimbal, like photobombing. My nan, bless her, she bought like 6 copies, you know what I mean? She was like, oh, bless you, like. But they recently, Channel 4 messaged and was like, oh, can we buy the rights to the video because they want to show it in a show, I guess, like, you know, Love Island's Then and Now or something. I don't know what it is. And yeah, like kind of learning about the rigmarole of that, and like, you know, there's not much
Licensing.
money in it now. Yeah, but like
There used to be. There's not anymore.
yeah, because we were talking about
Now they
recently,
try and get stuff. But this is just production companies. I think they just try and get stuff for as cheap or free as possible.
yeah, and they know that you aren't going to say no to the money. So if they're like, all right, we just won't use it, then you're like, no, go on, like, you know, how much do you actually want to offer? Because, you know, some money's better than no money. Like.
I mean, maybe then that's good to have an agent to do that. I used to work with a company. I can't remember their name years ago. Like I used to shoot for like loads of like men's mags. Like I'd send the pictures to them. They'd send out contracts to everyone to sign and everything, and they'd sell pictures. And oh mate, we used to make so much money with that. But I'm talking like
10, 15.
when I was in my first ever studio in Dalston.
Yeah. Reels. There's something that automatically is turned on in Instagram that will never, whenever you share a video, it basically says that it will play to the best resolution that the person's internet allows them to at the time. Whereas you can turn that off so it will only buffer and play at 4K. So if they haven't got enough signal, obviously it won't play. But if they do, which most people will have, it will play at the full res, so it will look as sharp as it did when it came out of the editing
Oh,
software.
please show me that.
Yeah.
Rather
Like,
than being
because I was,
fucked through compression.
yeah, I was like wondering why like my reels are like something like fucking like pixelated, like Minecraft Steve. Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, just one
I mean,
second.
we're still recording. This is something interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just again like one of them kind of hidden features that unless you know, and like, you know, like don't get me started on like codecs and stuff. Like a lot of people don't realize the importance of the settings in which you export your videos out. Things like H.264 or H.265, rather than it default into like just QuickTime or.
Yeah, no. We've been using, I think 264.
Because the live streaming falls under the format X264.
Yeah.
So we had to learn. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
Never even heard of an X.
No.
I heard of H because of YouTube. But
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, the importance of like how, and also like turning on settings if you're using Premiere, like maximum render quality and maximum bit depth, and like changing your VBR slider to again like allow it to be as higher information, and again that kind of goes into the depth of color, allow it to be that full depth rather than just like 8-bit color or something.
Yeah.
Important bits.
Interesting.
100%.
Lots to learn, mate.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck, I've got so much to learn. Samantha said to me the other day, she's like, "Oh, you're grumpy and stuff." I'm like, "Do you know how much is going on in my head at the moment?" I mean, I'm learning a new. I mean, that's not an excuse, but learning a brand new skill.
Yeah. Which is so multifaceted. There's so many elements of.
Oh, mate, if you think about like my adult life, I started photography when I was like 28, 29.
Yeah.
So I had to learn new skills. Then in my 30s, like when I met Simone, I was like 36. Then I started learning Ableton Live, new skill, learning music production. I've been doing that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And now 46,
Yeah.
learning video. So
See,
when I'm 56, I'm probably gonna.
get into After Effects or animation.
Oh, we've already started with
Oh,
After
dude.
Effects, right? We've got the whole Adobe suite. So.
Mate, yeah, After Effects can fuck off. I absolutely hate it. I was filming for this company for a while. It was a Jewish television company. I'm not Jewish myself, and like often I would be reminded of that when I'd go to a shoot and like these Jewish gentlemen would be like, or whatever, and then you're like, and they're like, no, you're not one of us, are you? Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of disapproval instantly of like, right, but I had to do these kind of like animated. I say animated; it's more motion graphics of like Jewish history, like kind of depicting Jewish tales of history, like Moses like splitting the sea, or this, that, and the other, and like the Maccabees and this, and that, and the other, and like had to do these kind of like key framing and like within After Effects, like making a 3D camera in a virtual space and like kind of learning all these parameters. But like you've probably found with Ableton, whenever you have like a new software, there might just be like one thing that's toggled on or off, and then just instantly everything's
changes.
disappeared or something, and you're just like,
Oh, that happened to us the other day. We were editing something, and then one of the clips is black, and we're like, "What's going on? What did we do?
Yeah.
What did we do? What did we do?"
and then you realise, oh, it's just because this one button at the top's not on or something like that. And I just found that constantly with After Effects, like, you know, but then you start to learn and you realise, no, I am, like, coherent, I'm competent within it, like, I understand, like, how things work and where it is, but one of the biggest transitions, I used to use Final Cut to edit with, was a big, like, Final Cut 7, God rest its soul, you know, it's such an elite editing software.
Does anyone still use that?
Probably not Final Cut 7, like, Final Cut X or Final Cut 10 is, like, the current bun, like, I think they discontinued selling it, maybe, and stopped producing updates, firmware updates or whatever for the software.
Why?
But because it was kind of like, you know, it was the foundation. Like, it was such a good software, but then obviously they release a new software and they want you to get on that, you know, and then continue. Like, it's like, you remember Photoshop Elements, or you know, like, you know, and then now.
But Final Cut, does people still use? Like, is there new Final Cut?
So it's Final Cut X, Premiere Pro, and DaVinci. Like, people are like die-hard fans of one or the other, or whatever.
DaVinci is I've used DaVinci at home because it's the only thing that runs on my machine.
It's such. I mean, like, there's perks to DaVinci. I mean, especially if color grading. If you was to get into color grading, DaVinci above all else, like, it's incredible. Like, the way you can just mask like a face can, like, you know, literally just color grade this area or that area, and, like, you know, even like create like the spill of light, the drop off of light. You know, like the stuff you can do in DaVinci for color grading, absolutely phenomenal. Premiere Pro, like, obviously it has its ways with color grading, but you can't get that in depth with masking and specifically, like, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, I think we saw the other day that I think even like Avatar and stuff has been color graded with.
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think
Deadpool is DaVinci Resolve.
It's literally industry standard. It's phenomenal.
I don't understand the nodes. Have you messed around with like the text-based editing?
Yeah, so I had, when I was doing stuff for Superdrug, I had to do a lot of like subtitling and stuff like that. So I would like run the auto transcribe, you know, where it automatically works it out, but you have to proofread it because, you know, like.
You have to undo spell check and all that.
100%.
I mean, I've looked at our transcriptions and it's like some of the things. I think
so
because of my accent and also I speak quite fast.
Yeah.
Some of the things make zero sense.
You constantly, and that's something you'll notice now. You're aware of that when you see stuff online, and you're just like, wow, like they didn't even check, they didn't even proof watch their videos.
I've watched loads of videos where you're like, they definitely didn't check it.
And it's.
I think even Joe Rogan, I've seen some stuff where it's like they didn't check it.
Yeah, but it just, you know, it's that, you know, being meticulous with it and learning to check these things. But the tech stuff, like, they have, obviously you can keyframe and stuff, so you can do some kind of cool stuff with text within Premiere Pro. It's I think they call it like essential graphics or graphic something, and they do have some kind of preset, you know, like the words kind of float in a certain way or like move. But there's a lot of them that you can download, which are actually really handy, especially for like weddings and stuff. I do like, again, with like a mask. Imagine like you go behind a building, they'll be like, oh, it's so-and-so's wedding, but like the building kind of, or like a car going down the road, then reveals the word as it comes out, you know, like them kind of transitions, man, it's so smart. And again, masking, like going back to like masking, it's such a simple technique, but done right, just, really adds levels.
All right, I think that's it.
Wicked, man.
Thank you very much for filming my first podcast. Actually, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Oh, 100%. Well, it's just
and it was fun, yeah.
Sandy, we ain't seen each other in a while. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a bit of a catch up and.
Yeah, but this is not how we would normally speak anyway. We never really talk about work like this.
No, 100%. It's nice to get away from it, isn't it? Like, but
all right,
a pleasure.